We are going to be talking about Naoya Inoue's fight plan for 2024. Obviously, as a Filipino boxing fan and a blogger, Naoya Inoue is one of the popular boxers in the Philippines, obviously, for fighting such a lot of great fights against Filipino. In the Philippines, there's one boxer that a lot of fight fans here in the Philippines expecting him to fight. So the question is, will there be a chance for our very own Cuadro Alas John Ria Casimero to get in the ring with Naoya Inoue? Now, I'm gonna be sharing to you my opinion on that and what would be most likely the fight plan of Naoya Inoue this 2024. And a lot of the also people, especially here in the Philippines, the fans of Casimiro have taken offense when I said and mentioned that this year there will be no super bantamweight champion coming from the Philippines or an opportunity to get the fight for the Philippines. And let me tell you why. But before that, let's go ahead and do a quick introduction. Powcast Sports. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This content is presented by Arena Plus, Astigsa Sports. I'm gonna be honest, really honest with you, fight fans, in this one. I'm doing this in English because I got a lot of Casemiro updates here, and some of the guys, some of the comments are saying that I should be doing English commentary for the international audience because there's an international interest on this one. So, first of all, let me go ahead and share you this one. This is coming from Daisuke Sugiura, and a quote on Ring Magazine from Naoya Inoue saying that I'm planning on fighting 3 times this year. I'm sure these 3 fights will take place at super bantamweight, probably in May, September, and December. When to move up to featherweight will depend on how and my body feel next year. Naoya Inoue interview coming soon at Ring Magazine, so you'll be getting the full article on this one on Ring Magazine. Now, initially I thought that there will be just 2 fights for Naoya Inoue because he's fighting in May. And now there's a development that he's going to be getting another fight late in December, which is, well, it usually happen in Japan anyway, that there's big fight during New Year, usually by Kazuto Ayoka. So if this is the case, then Luis Neri is next, and I heard Murujo Nakmadileb will be his next fight in September. So there's a chance for this third fight to be another super bantamweight. So, but obviously Sam Goodman is already number one on the IBF list, but there's a lot of mandatory. But Naoya Inoue, being they're the one promoting the fights, may probably um, choose or have a choice of opponent maybe on this last fight as the super bantamweight, but that would still really depend, like what he said, on his body. In the Philippines, a lot of people has taken offense when I created the list of potential Filipino boxers that would get an opportunity to be a world champion this year, and I posted 12 of them, and did mention that in the super bantamweight that there will be no Filipinos that will be a world champion or will have a chance to be a world champion, because Inoue holds all the belts and he has 2 fights already set up for him. Well, at least according to a lot of sources, that those will be the 2 fights, Neri and Akmadilib. Here's the real question here. Um, uh, for international fans, I'm not sure if they're aware of the that Casimir is very popular among YouTubers and boxing fans. There's a lot of talks about General Casimero wanting to really fight Naoya Inoue, and Inoue just ducking from Casimero, which is obviously, I don't believe it's true. It's just I believe that it doesn't make sense for Naoya Inoue right now, especially after all of the opportunities that has been given to Casimero to kind of showcase that he still belong in there in the ring with Naoya Inoue. So for fight fans that doesn't know, Casimero recently had 3 fights with his new promotions, Fresher Boxing promotion. Um, the latest one with Oguni, who didn't really impress the Naoya Inoue's promotions or promoters. And this is around the news that that because of that fight, the Inoue fight interest is now gone. But here's the thing: probably a little glimmer of hope because we thought that Naoya Inoue would move up after 2 fights. So this is a problem as well. This is a problem actually for the super bantamweight division. They were all waiting for Naoya Inoue to move up because unfortunately, and this is the truth, even for myself, I believe Naoya Inoue may be unbeatable at 122 pounds. So, most of the boxers would probably just say, "Hey, let's just wait for Naoya Inoue, and then we'll get a chance to fight for the vacant belt." But if Naoya Inoue chose to stay, that's good news for Genre Casimero, which means he gets a lot more chance to maybe get a fight with Naoya Inoue, especially WBO doesn't have a mandatory yet. So if let's just assume that Naoya Inoue is gonna follow the mandatories. So that's Akhmadalev. I mean, that's Neri, Akhmadalev, and then Sam Goodman is number one, and then WBO. Actually, in the third fight, Sam Goodman doesn't have any storyline with Naoya Inoue, at least not yet. So I haven't heard Sam Goodman talk trash or anything against Naoya Inoue, but Casimero has been talking a lot, and some of us didn't like it, some of us like it here in the Philippines, but for Filipino boxing fans, the only way for Casimero to really be considered is that he get a significant fight next. So as of right now, and I'm sharing this to you for the international audience, Casimero doesn't have any opponent yet. No, he was supposed to fight Doheny, and so we heard, and that negotiation fell out. That was supposed to be an eliminator kind of fight. Now the thing is, the WBO hasn't identified the eliminator fight. So could it be Casimero? Could it be the TJ Doheny fight? What happens if they both fight separately? So who would WBO favored as an eliminator to get a chance for Naoya Inoue? Now, the problem now for Casimero is that he needs to have a significant fight. Obviously, he's already up there in the ranking, and he can fight anyone. If because the promoter of Casimero is also a Japanese promoter, you probably have a good relationship as well with Naoya Inoue's promoter. We don't know exactly, but we've been hearing some news that they already have some discussions and kind of like verbal agreement that if Casimero did well or do well, then he's gonna be chosen. And Naoya Inoue himself has mentioned the name of Casimero a number of times as a potential opponent. So maybe, just maybe, he would be the third fight in December, and that would be big. So if Casimero gets the fight, then that's good for Casimero. But the problem isn't that. The problem is Casimero still within the same level as Naoya Inoue? Casimero hasn't, with all of the news and the things that we've hearing from Casimero, he's out of shape. And his last fight was disappointing. So this next fight of him will be actually his key. So whoever he's fighting, and so we heard it's Marlon Tapales. If it's Marlon Tapales, the former opponent of Naoya Inoue, another Filipino, and there's a lot of conversation between that fight here in the Philippines, and from what I understand, it's already under negotiation, and this is not just the first talk. Probably there'll be second talks of this one because as of right now, Casimero doesn't have any other significant options. If Doheny doesn't want to fight, all of the rest of the fights in the WBO that's rated may not be available. So the deal is here. This one, um, Casimero, if he wants to keep his hopes alive, but that's very slim because he's gonna have to fight Sam Goodman for the last opportunity probably. So you know, he needs to show really a good fight for this next fight. Whoever he is fighting, so it's up to him if he wants to keep that dream alive. Other than that, he could just wait for Naoya Inoue to move up to to featherweight, and then he'll fight for the vacant belt. So you it depends really on the plan of Casimiro. Does he want the belt or does he want Naoya Inoue? Well, obviously, I think he wants Naoya Inoue, but so he needs to work a little bit harder than his last fights.